Good afternoon, I'm Kay Gregory and this is your midday news fix for Friday the 3rd of July. Shock after reports a man received 5 years of taxpayer salary after being arrested in a global FBI sting. Former Lotto presenter Russell Harrison hauled hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold bars to Turkey for the Comancheros motorcycle gang. At the time, he worked for the family court and staff reports he continued to receive his salary before pleading guilty to money laundering a fortnight ago. Taxpayers Union spokesperson Jordan Williams says there's no justice at the Ministry of Justice.
It appears the Secretary, Andrew Kibblewhite, hid this information from the Minister, and to us that is the most outrageous part of the story.
Winston Peters is talking up the importance of experience after confirming former MP and Wanganui Mayor Michael Laws will stand for New Zealand First in the Waitaki electorate at this year's election. The New Zealand First leaders told the platform it certainly won't be Laws' first rodeo.
We hope that people have learned from their experience, and that's what's lacking in politics. Too many haven't had the learning experience in the first place, and they're learning on the job, and that's an enormous cost to the taxpayer.
ACT has released new policy this morning, revealing it wants to give accredited security operators the power to detain people for 30 minutes and use reasonable force as a last resort. Leader David Seymour has told Herald Now Business it would give businesses the rights they should already have.
A lot of the stuff people say, oh, well, technically, kinda, you can do that now. But I think it's time to have some really clear guidelines about who can do what and what happens if they screw up.
Many parents are left with unanswered questions around the risks of airborne asbestos fibres from children's play sand. Officials are weighing up an outright ban after AUT researchers found 3 of 24 products recalled last year could release fibres into the air. Christchurch mother Elle Crisp has an ongoing case with the Disputes Tribunal after her children regularly played with a Kmart sand product. She says an asbestos exposure diagnosis usually doesn't come until at least a decade later.
Just waiting and seeing and letting that latency period run out, to me, doesn't seem like the best thing we could be doing with our time.
A miracle rescue for a man trapped for 8 days under a collapsed building in Venezuela. The death toll from last week's double earthquakes has reached more than 2,000 and is expected to rise. Food and clean water is scarce for survivors, with thousands sleeping in crowded shelters or outside. BBC reporter Issa Suarez says it was a happy moment when the 44-year-old security guard was pulled from the rubble. She says it was a huge effort for rescue workers from around the world who were hugging and exchanging country patches afterwards. In sport, All Blacks coach Dave Rennie's dismissed the notion that France are lacking some of their top talent ahead of tomorrow's test in Christchurch. Sir Scott Dixon's IndyCar team of 24 years, Chip Ganassi, is wishing the New Zealander nothing but continued success after confirming his departure. Tamati Allison will join fellow former All Blacks assistant coach Jason Holland's staff at the Blues for Super Rugby next year. And hosts England are through to Monday's T20 Women's World Cup cricket final at Lords after beating South Africa in the semi-finals. I'm Kay Gregory and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.